Episode 259.
I think the future is bright for the automotive repair industry, and keep your chin up. Anybody that gets through these next couple of years is going to come out on top.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to Remarkable Results Radio. Listen to learn just one thing from today's episode on your journey to remarkable results. Welcome, aftermarket professionals, to episode 259 of the Remarkable Results Radio podcast with my guest, Clint Dudley. This is a Where Are They Now interview. Clint was on episode 5 back in March 2015. A lot has gone on with Clint since then, including a brand new 13,000 square foot service center he built from the ground up. Carm Capriato here, bringing you these important aftermarket interviews with industry leaders like Clint Dudley. So glad you decided to join us. The podcast is supported by Federal Mogul Motor Parts and Garage Gurus. For serious technical training and support, online, on-site, and on demand, Garage Gurus is everything you need to know. Find out more at fmgaragegurus.com. I love it when you contact with me on Facebook, like Steve Conley, Timothy Vizana, and Shane Coberly, and to my new LinkedIn connections, Matthew Batulis, Mike Deeds, and Steve Slider. Thank you all. I'd love it if you connect with me socially. Go to remarkableresults.biz/social for all the links. There you can also connect with me via email with an idea for a show or even a guest request, or just to say hi. Have you heard the educational lessons in the Town Hall Academy archives? Over 30 great topics discussed by your industry colleagues. The quality of these single-subject forums is like no other in the aftermarket. Each week, your industry peers bring their wisdom and experience to the topic at hand. It's like a documentary, but you'll learn just like a seminar. I promise your time well spent. Go to remarkableresults.biz/academy. And don't forget to get the podcast listening app on your smartphone. If you want instant access to every episode, just download the Remarkable Results Radio app on Apple or Android and enjoy a whole new easy way to connect and learn with every episode. Now, here is a Where Are They Now episode. My guest, Clint Dudley, president of Shade Tree Auto in Grimes, Iowa, was with me in episode 5 from March of 2015. A lot has happened with Clint since the early interview. And by the way, episode 5 has been one of the most listened to episodes of all time. So I decided to check up on Clint. He's won many national recognitions from the U.S. Chamber and recently an International Business Award, the Bronze Stevie, in the Company of the Year retail category. He credits his people and strong business culture for the continued recognition he receives. Clint built a new building since the last time we talked, and he shares the excitement of how his new 13,000 square foot facility is working. We also get into his business culture, finding the right people. He talks technician pay. He shares his 3 best habits and his commitment to training by taking his entire team to Vision, Kansas City. It was great to get this Where Are They Now update from Clint Dudley. I'm so glad to see the continued recognition and the remarkable results that his company continues to have. Now here's an update. Here we go with Clint Dudley. Hey, a warm welcome to Clint Dudley from Shade Tree Auto in Grimes, Iowa for his second appearance.
Sounds good. Hey, thanks for having me back on.
Clint was on episode 5. That was March of 2015, 41 months ago from September of 2017, which is when we're going to release the episode. And I have to thank you so much for giving me the shot back when I first started. I think you were like the second or the third interview. The third person I interviewed. So thank you so much. And the reason we interviewed you was you had an incredible story to tell. So we can either go into it now or we can kind of get an update. Just encourage my listeners to go back and listen to episode 5. Now in the show notes, I'll have a link to it, Clint. And I'll tell a secret to everyone. Episode 5 is the most listened to episode in my entire catalog.
Well, I'm honored to have that.
It's amazing, and I thank you so much for giving me a shot. So, hey, we're here to do an update. What's going on at Shade Tree Auto? And the reason I connected with you, not only, Clint, because I'm getting nostalgic, and every once in a while I think we go through those emotional curves, and you want to go back and visit your roots, and we had such a great interview, is that you continue to keep winning allocades not only in the industry, but, in your business community. So you recently won the Bronze Stevie Award. Tell me about it.
That's just so amazing. So the Stevie Awards it'd be kind of the same as a Grammy or an Oscar in the business categories. It's an international business award. This is the 14th year for it. We were competing across the board with for-profit, nonprofit, 3,900 applicants out of 60 nations for a Stevie Award. We did win bronze in the Company of the Year retail category out of all those applicants. So just phenomenal. We're blown away. I don't know what to say. It's quite an honor.
Clint, what's the criteria of the award? What did you have to do to impress the judges?
Well, the Stevie Awards aren't based solely off of profitability and numbers and how much you've grown your business, as much as it is giving back to the community and how you treat your customers. What I found out about the Stevie Awards is it really kind of came about after the whole Enron scandal. So this organization got together to recognize companies that were ethical, that you'd want to do business with. And that doesn't always translate into high profits or gross sales, but it does translate into just an overall good company.
You've got a track record for ethics. 2016, the Torch Award for Ethics from the U.S. Chamber. You got to be so proud of the recognition you're getting. To me, ethics is the pinnacle of how you could be ever recognized. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't want to do this if we had to go home and worry about sleeping at night or, a customer finding out eventually, because they will. They'll find out if you're not ethical or not. So let's just start right off the bat. Let's just be open and honest. Let's have integrity. Let's take care of customers better than they expect to, especially in an auto repair shop. That's worked out really well for us. We've built our team. We just have a phenomenal team of people that share that sentiment. So that's what makes it easy. That's how we get these awards is the guys and gals that we have working here. So much to learn from you. Talk to me about your business culture, your values, your behaviors that build your culture. Is it something you guys work on every day? Oh, yeah. Like I said, it really starts with the people. You have to identify those people that share those values before you even hire them. That's where a lot of the creativity and a lot of the new ideas that we build into our company on a weekly and daily basis come from. Suggestions from people that have experienced different things in their walks of lives, that are frustrated with something at a different occupation that they wish they could do it differently. And we entertain those ideas openly. We discuss them. And if it makes sense, we'll work them into how we do business. We're really about information. When a person walks into a repair shop, they just assume you can fix the car. That's not. They didn't come in there hoping you can fix the car. That's square one. When you give them the information, you help them make a good decision, even when it shoots us in the foot, because we tell them that this car needs way more work than just the issue you brought it in for, and it probably doesn't make sense to fix this car. Maybe we consider investing that money into something different. We know eventually we'll work on whatever it is they buy. It may be 2 or 3 years down the road, but we've maintained a customer, and those are the people in our community that we run into all the time. Whether it's a chamber event, movie night, or a restaurant around town, we're sharing our town with these customers, and we want to make sure we're a good community steward. Does it show in your top line? Yeah, I think it does, because, some people are just in it for the coupons and the discounts. Those don't really become our customers. We cater to, probably about 30 or 40% of the people out there. But for those people, we understand what it is that they want out of a repair shop. And we really try to go above and beyond to help be that repair shop for those people. We're not trying to be the same for everybody. It's just not a good fit. So you've got all these awards. Do you market them to your community? Yes and no. We're very proud of them. We've worked very hard for them, and especially for our team. So we want people to know that, we respect all the work that our team put in to get these awards. For me, we're an auto repair shop. We do oil changes for a living. If we can win these awards because we're doing the right thing, how come the other businesses in our community can't strive to be like that? We'd like to be an example for what a good small town Midwestern values company can be, whether that's oil changes or,
flower arrangements or chiropractors, or I think that opportunity exists for all small businesses, especially when it comes from an industry that isn't widely accepted as being open and honest.
Has this always been you since day one, or did you transist as a leader to realize how important serving your customer with high ethics is?
I don't know. It goes back to what I was kind of talking about earlier. I got frustrated with some of what I saw behind the scenes as a service advisor, as a technician at some of these other repair shops. I kind of drew a line in the sand. I said, if I wanted to do a job like this, it had to be by these rules. And if it wasn't going to work, then I didn't want to be a part of it. So we kind of made this up as we went. I was a little idealistic in the beginning, but it didn't change. We pushed forward with it. Luckily, I had the people on our team to help me get to that point. So, yeah, it's been like that since day one. This wasn't a marketing gimmick. This wasn't a way for us to be different than our competitors. It's just doing the right thing.
It was in your heart. It's who you are.
Yeah, and it's who I am, who our team is, and honestly, it's who our community is. We're a reflection of what goes on within the greater Des Moines area.
Clint, what did it take to find the right team to live these values?
I think the first step was we did get recognized by AAA as being a top shop in the state. I think people want to work for companies like that. So we've had some interviews. We stumbled through a couple right off the beginning. We didn't have a very good interview process put in place. I'm a lot more confident with that now. We've had enough people in here that we want to have similar people as them working for us. So we've developed a template based off of what we've seen in these other people. So that's helped us really narrow things down through a pretty rigorous interview process. We're fortunate that we have people that walk in and want to work for us right off the bat. So we really don't solicit too much.
I'm talking to Bud Houston, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. Do you actually put products in the hands of the technicians?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime there's new product introduced, perhaps a new problem solver or a new technology, we keep that stuff on the van just because their local parts supplier may not have it available. And we think it's important to show them what's coming. And then seeing the part is really, especially with the new OEX, seeing the part and touching the part is something that changes perspective rather than just a piece of paper with a picture of the part.
Okay, so you put an OEX pad into the hand of a technician, and you've done this, I'm sure, hundreds of times. What do you see on their face when they see it?
You can tell they get it. In our industry, there's technology that we use all the time that you look at and you're like, that just doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to take your word that it works. You put an OEX brake pad in somebody's hand, and I just ask the question, why does this look so weird? And they're like, I bet it's to make it cool. They get it as soon as you put it in their hand.
So technicians holding your product and listening to your presentation, do you ever see the light bulbs go up? They raise their hand and says, boy, I've got a great idea for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not only does that happen, every time I'm with a group of guys, I solicit ideas. I'm like, listen, a lot of the stuff that I've shared with you originated in a bay somewhere where the technician said, you know what, if you could do this, it would be really cool. And so the stuff that I get, I send up, to our engineering team and say, hey, could we do something like this? And there's things in the works, and there's some things that came out recently that originated in, hey, if you could do this, it would be helpful. Because at the end of the day, I think Federal Mogul's known in every line to be a problem solver, and not just solving a problem, but making an installation easier as well.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. A lot of buzz lately, discussion about quality parts, your supplier network. Are you happy with what you're getting?
Yeah, we're constantly checking it out. There's always different lines within any manufacturer. We always strive for the top of the line, an OEM replacement if we can. If we've seen updated parts in the aftermarket industry, and I think there's good examples of those, we'll actually take those over an OE. Anytime we get a lifetime warranty out of a particular part, that does wonders for us. We have a 4-year, 40,000-mile warranty on parts and labor internally, but obviously if it's lifetime, not only covers that, but we sell it to the customer as well. This will be the last time you buy this part.
Who's your number one call?
Napa. do a phenomenal job taking care of us. We worked with Jasper before too. They actually came in, and we're pretty proud to talk with you guys about sponsoring your podcast. WorldPack, a little bit of delay getting parts from them, but the quality is there. It's totally worth it.
Are you running shorthanded now?
Well, our most recent development, and you can't really get a good feel for it in the background here, is we moved into a new facility. So we moved out of our rental facility, which is about 1.5 miles away. We'd been there since 2005. Well, in March of this year, 2017, we opened up a new 13,000 square foot facility.
I saw the pictures of it. I went onto your site to see what was going on with you, and I see this beautiful. Did you build that, or did you buy it?
We did. Yeah, we bought the land, and we had a good friend of mine, the architect that helped design the property. I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted since I was a kid, essentially going through designing the shop. But we brought the techs in, we brought the service advisors in. And we said, okay, this is what I want to do. What are your suggestions? And we adjusted accordingly. So we've got 10 bays plus an alignment rack. The building's set up to very efficient. We've got 2 bays per technician, air conditioning for each one of the work areas, heated floors. Access is super easy for our customers. It's southbound, heading into Des Moines. So we're a bedroom community. So anything that's easy for our customers to drop their cars off in the morning. Traffic out fronts, 40,000 plus cars a day that drive by this place. So we're very fortunate. We picked up some efficiencies, so we're playing around with that. Our techs could do a lot of work before, but now that they've got 2 ways to work off of, we're trying to find that limit.
What other type of efficiencies have you implemented besides 2 bays per tech?
We put in an overhead oil system that takes the top 3 oils that we usually use for oil changes, also delivers transmission fluid and washer fluid. Everybody has a laptop. Everybody has a tablet. We use the bolt-on systems with Mitchell. We set up phones for each one of the workstations that automatically go to speakerphone for the techs. So if we've got a question from up front, we can dial them up and they can continue to work on the car while we sort out some issues. So anything we can do to improve the communication between the technicians and the service advisors and the customers, that's where the real efficiencies come in.
Some talk about trends in the independent side, saying that we're going to have these big mega shops, like you've just described, that will be dealer-like, if you will, in not only in the amount of work that can be done, the number of bays and the techs, but in the customer environment too. It looks like you're trending way out and doing some smart things. Do you believe you've built this place for the next 20 years?
Yeah, hopefully longer than that. Honestly, we built this facility to hopefully train out of. I think it's going to be our responsibility as shop owners to step in and take over where the high schools and community colleges are starting to fall short. Right now, there isn't that interest for kids to get into any one of the trade industries, and we can recognize that. We've seen it happen. I know you have for 15, 20 years now. It's kind of fallen out of favor. But at the same time, I'm paying techs close to, 6 figures. That's the opportunities that exist for somebody with a 2-year degree to enjoy what they do and to make a lot of money at it. So I think at some point it's going to start swinging the other way. But in the meantime, we need quality techs. We need kids to be interested in this field and know it's okay to be interested in this field.
So what you're saying, we have a facility that can house an apprentice or two.
Yeah. We've got ASE techs. We got most of them are master techs in our facility. So to have somebody come in and have that passion to want to be involved in the industry and want to learn and just not having the opportunity to do that, I think that affords us a unique opportunity. We're at the level that we've got a few extra bays that we can station these people in. Whether that works or not, we can always change it up later. But I just feel like that's going to be our responsibility as shop owners to start training internally.
Give me one feature of this facility that you're so proud of.
We've got a pretty enclosed shop area, and when we did that, we had to keep in mind how hard it is to get cars into a particular bay. So you drive in one door, and then there's a row on either side of you of hoists. So what we did is we we didn't rely on industry standards for bay areas or for drive-through area. We actually went out in the parking lot. We took our 2001 Chevy 2500 four-door, and we drove it along the curb and made a hard left turn until it was perpendicular. And we said that's where we want the back of our hoist to be and where the other side hoist would be lined up. So in doing so, we created a pretty wide central area. We also wanted 10 feet between the toolbox and the cars in the front, and we had a little extra width in between the hoists for getting equipment in and out. Our architects panicked because they saw these dimensions and they said, well, we've done dealerships before, and this is way too much space. But we stuck with it. It was extra money, but we've got the space that we need, and it's so nice. It's so efficient. The techs have plenty of room to spread out to get equipment back and forth. And when you're working on a car and somebody needs to walk behind you, there's plenty of room to do that too. Plus, we want to keep our customer cars inside at night. So the extra width in between the hoists allow us to get 2 to 3 car widths parked inside at night. So everything's secure. We don't have to worry about, weather coming through at night and causing any sort of damage. So that was a big deal to us.
What kind of customer amenities in the new place?
We transitioned most of them that we had at the other place. We weren't trying to reinvent the wheel with the new shop, especially for our customers to have the same experience they were having before. So we've got loaner cars. We've got a coffee bar. We've got free water and sodas in the refrigerator. We've got our NASCAR on display outside. We've got a room built around it. The kids like seeing that. We do our shuttle service. We've got the bolt-on inspections to get texted out to customers. They really enjoy those features.
Tell me about the value that the customer sees in the DVI process.
Yeah, it's 100 times better than trying to pick up the phone and explain something to somebody. You've got pictures sitting right there. You've got all the technician notes. I mean, it's black and white, and it stays out there forever. So I think being able to reference that time after time after time, you develop that relationship with the customer, and they can say, yeah, I remember you said this was getting bad last time, and we should probably take a look at that again this time. We don't push sales. We're not heavy into you have to buy this right now. We would rather let you know that this is coming up and you're going to have to address it in the future.
I invited you to go out and speak to a bunch of service professionals like yourself, and your topic is share one idea on how to make money at a shop. What would your talk be on?
Patience, I guess, developing the relationship with the customer. A lot of respect for my customers. We have some of the best customers I've ever seen at a repair shop, but you have to treat them with respect. You have to realize they're busy too, and they've got lives, and maybe if they don't call you back right away, that's because they're out trying to make a living and take care of their kids.
They have a life.
Yeah, it's a life. This is the last thing you want to do, right? Get your car worked on and spend $1,000.
What do you do for customer retention? How are you working that strategy?
Updates with scheduling reminders for services that weren't performed. It just kind of casual. We've got a mailing list. Obviously, if we get an award, we're gonna push that out and thank our customers for helping us get there. We try to do a lot of things within the community. We've got an event coming up that's just for fun. It's a Iowa State grill out. We're just gonna celebrate some local football, college football around here. Helping out with the bank across our street is going to do another panel build, the 5th one. We like to go over there and participate in that. Getting involved with the stuff our customers get involved in and letting them know that, if you're going to support us, we're going to support you.
You love the community, and your community involvement is huge. Name something that you've done besides this bank thing.
I'm actually a graduate of the Great Des Moines Leadership Institute. I stayed on as an alumni, as a coach, a project coach for some of the community work that they do. This year, I'm actually on the board, and I'm chairing the project committee. So we've taken on 5 nonprofit projects within the Greater Des Moines area. In our class of 50, we'll divide up into groups of 10 and work for about 9 months. Volunteering time and resources to improving 5 nonprofits within Des Moines. So that's a pretty big time commitment for us. Luckily, I've got a staff that can take care of this place while I'm running around trying to save the world.
Well, good for you. You're working on your business, not in it.
Yeah, that's where things really freed up. When I had the right people on the bus, per se, to run this place better than than I could.
So take me to the service counter, Clint. Any unique way to close more service sales?
Like I said, it's the information. We lay it out there, and it's a matter of fact. So we don't mark anything that really doesn't need to be done. So it's very easy for our service advisors to look at this and say, well, I mean, technically it needs to be replaced, or technically, this fluid is bad. It really takes the emotion out of it, especially if we can say, hey, next time you're going to have to seriously look at this. It makes it easier for us to sell that to the customer, because it's bad. And we don't necessarily go off of a maintenance schedule, 30, 60, 90. We pull samples. We take pictures of filters. If it doesn't need it, we're not going to recommend it. So we almost treat maintenance like a repair. It becomes necessary when we recommend it. And I think our customers can appreciate that.
Clint, give me 3 adjectives that describes you.
Tired, passionate, thoughtful. Yeah, I put a lot of thought into all the decisions that we make. Probably because I made a lot of mistakes going through this process. So a little slow to pull the trigger on some stuff. But obviously, once I do, I'm all in.
So can you learn from your mistakes?
Oh, yeah. That's the only way to learn, right?
Regret any of them?
No. I'd do it all over again.
Clint, what does successful mean to you?
I don't know, having something you can look back and say, yeah, I don't regret any of it.
Where are you getting your new ideas?
You get tired and you have a couple of cups of coffee and something pops in there. And if it's still there later on in the afternoon, you go for it.
What affects those ideas, though? Are you always observing?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of people. I'm pretty open-minded. I get suggestions all the time for things that, not all of them are good ideas, but hearing from different perspectives. And that doesn't have to be from the automotive industry. We joined ATI a long time ago. And you see a lot of people that go into management programs specific for our industry, and they're very closed-minded. And they say, well, I'm not doing that, and this is stupid, and that's taking advantage of somebody. Well, at the same time, they're floundering. They can't make margins the way that they need to keep their business doors open. And I realized pretty early on, if I couldn't make enough money to keep the doors open, then it doesn't do me any good to try to take care of my customers. I'm not going to be there next year anyway. So we just had to say, this is what we have to make in order to stay in business. And the trade-off is we're going to be heavily involved in what our customers are interested in.
Clint, you bring up a great point. Many service professionals are negative against help. And so many of the successful ones have said, listen, I'm smart and I'm learning all the time, but I really need help. I almost like I need an accountability coach or partner. Is that what you look at your coaching company as, what they do for you today?
Definitely. I mean, it's an ongoing communication. They have to hold your feet to the fire, and you need somebody like that.
It doesn't mean that you failed. It's just another smart discipline to bring inside the business. Oh, gosh, no. Just because these are good ideas that somebody else had doesn't mean that you have to reinvent them. That's just silly. These guys did all the hard work. Let's take advantage of that. And some of that stuff we don't agree with. It doesn't fit our business model, and that's fine. But this was all the stuff I probably would have learned by the time I retired. I'm just getting it all up front. So there's no pride lost in getting an education and using best practices. Great point. Apex TV recently interviewed me, and they asked me, what am I hearing from my interviews? And I believe it was the second most important thing that I would say in the last year and a half, and that is that the most successful people in the industry have hired and continue to be with the business coach or consultant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have some people in our business owners group that had left the program for a number of years and came back. So that resonated with me too, because I look up to this particular group out in Wisconsin that has a couple of different locations. And I thought, well, these guys pretty much have it figured out. And they said, no, we had to come back. It was more valuable than we realized when we were in the industry.
So tell me about your great habits. Anything you'd love to share?
Get in a little bit early in the morning, get some stuff knocked out before it gets too busy. Spend time with the kiddos as much as you can. Take time to relax. We're involved in a lot of stuff. It's pretty easy to burn the candle at both ends, but you have to recharge.
Yeah, so how do you do that? What do you do?
Oh boy, Netflix. You sit on the couch and rub my wife's feet. Yeah, I just binge watch something. No, I get out and hang out with some friends. do something that's not work related.
Do something different, right?
Yeah, transition. Don't sleep at the shop. That's for sure.
Clint, one thing you've done that no one knows.
Journal, I guess. I don't know if anybody knows that. I keep a pretty good journal going on. I really don't go back and read it. It's just kind of nice to put it all out on paper.
So what's the benefit to you? Is that you get a chance to purge if you don't go back and read it?
Yeah, I complain a lot in that thing. It helps you put things in perspective. When you see it written down on paper, it's like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Or you realize, what you've gone through, and it was a big deal, and it's a sense of accomplishment to be able to look back and say, well, shoot, I made it through that, then this isn't a big deal at all.
Technology. What's the next generation repair shop going to look like?
A lot more connectivity with our vehicle systems just to the customers. You're starting to see that now. It's very accessible for customers to get in and see vehicle information. So that's not going to be really our wheelhouse in the future. We're going to have the same information our customers do. I think it's going to come down to our education, how we interpret that information, how we disseminate the good information from the bad information. I think you can agree that there's a lot of bad YouTube videos out there on how to work on cars. So that's where our role is really going to be. Technology is going to make it seem like the customer has a better chance at taking care of their cars. And the reality is it will probably cause more harm than good. And it's our responsibility to be able to interpret that information.
So are you saying that part of your role and your job with your customer is that you need to inform them, open their eyes to what the data means and how we repair, how we fix?
If that's what they're looking for. I mean, there's going to be plenty of customers that, Des Moines heavy in the insurance industry. So these guys go down and they deal with insurance all day. They don't want to know how a tie rod operates or why the power steering isn't working anymore. They may be curious about it, and having that information there for them to access and review just for integrity purposes is important. But for the most part, these people are going to be looking at us to take care of their problem, which is, my car is not working right now.
ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, they're on the cars today. And a bunch of service professionals have recently said, we've got to get out there and inform our customers about the technology that they have on their vehicle, and sometimes even how to use it and how to appreciate it. Do you see you doing more in that?
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of that, but I would agree there's a lot more technology on these cars than most of the drivers realize or even appreciate. That can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, most people don't know how to air up their tires or pop their hood, which is good for our industry. And quite honestly, with everything that's going on in these cars, you probably don't want them hacking into a wiring system or doing the stuff that we used to do as kids, put your own radios in and change out the shocks in the spring.
Update the radio. God, I remember that.
Now you get 72 computers that all have to talk to each other. You just can't do that anymore, which is fine because the radios are pretty awesome. Navigation and entertainment systems. We're going to have a huge problem with telematics and security in these cars. I'm surprised it's not more of an issue for manufacturers at this point. And I'm really surprised the aftermarket hasn't gotten into it. Security for wireless systems and prevent, unintended intrusions.
I hope to do an interview soon all about that. So everyone should stand by. Do you see specialization? And I know you're in Des Moines and, it may not be as prevalent, but do you see specialization at shops growing? Yeah,
we've got a couple of specialist shops around town. It almost seems like the cars are becoming more homogenous anymore. All the technology is really driving the manufacturers, and these are really turning into, just platforms for the technology. So I think specialization seems to be going away more. We're not seeing as many specific transmission shops or European shops, or I guess tire shops are becoming awfully prevalent, but they won't work on the mechanical systems around here. It's strictly tires.
Do you sell a lot of tires?
We've been selling a lot more. I'm surprised that we can stay competitive. I think it's more the convenience and the service. There's plenty of places you can buy tires for less than what we can buy tires. So it makes it a little hard to compete. But at the same time, we've pretty safely doubled our tire sales since last year. I think it just comes down to, we're going to take care of all the other stuff while it's in. So let's get the tires at the same time.
Do you see another branch in your future?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? A couple of Shade Tree Autos around town. We certainly have that option. We just moved in this facility, and we'd like to get this thing up to 100% before we start exploring that. But again, that comes down to the staff that we have. Everything in this facility has at least 2 people doing that position. So we've got the opportunity to train somebody here and then transplant them around town. I think we got a pretty good customer following too that would use us more if we were more convenient. It's amazing when we moved even 1.5 miles. That was the number one thing that people said about us. Forget the awards, forget the ASC master technicians, forget the warranty. Everybody said, boy, this is awesome because you guys are convenient.
1.5 miles made you more convenient.
Yeah. In fact, the people who were serving that neighborhood, that was, our old neighborhood that was the main thing that they liked about us, is how convenient we were. So, we can get a little frustrated that was the case with our customers, because we work really hard to be the number one shop out there. But hey, if they like us for being close, we'll just be close to everybody.
Yeah, put up multiple shops. In order to scale your business, you've got to have good systems and processes and documented, procedures. You have all that?
Yeah, we're constantly updating it. There's some procedures we don't have written down for some of the smaller stuff, but we've gone through our inspection process constantly. We're trying to find efficiencies there. How we want the customers handled, daily startup and daily lockdown. With a new shop, we had to develop a lot of new procedures, so it was a good opportunity to write all this down.
Hey, are you still taking your team to Apex SEMA?
We didn't do it this year. We went to Vision. That was first year for Vision, and we felt that was a little better educational trip. SEMA is pretty awesome, but we kind of had to hunker down when we built this new building. We had to take a little time off from trips like that because we weren't sure quite what was going on with the construction process. It took about 1.5 years to get this thing up and running. But
as far as Vision, you took the whole team.
Oh, yeah. We went down there Friday and Saturday. So we got in some really good classes. It's valuable. And we're fortunate. It's down in Kansas City, which is only about 3 hours for us. So we could cruise down in a morning, stay the night, and be back that next night, versus some of the people that were flying in from around the country.
You built a 13,000 square foot dream facility, well thought out. Did it happen because you're a disciplined goal setter?
Motivated, I guess. Discipline probably comes with motivation. Who gets the opportunities like we have? Honestly, we got a great team. We won these awards. We got good customers. Well, I'd be doing everybody a disservice if I didn't at least try for it. People with less opportunities have done more than I have. So why not, right?
Okay, I have a Tim Ferriss question for you. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
We're proud of our employees and proud of our customers. We're just happy to be part of this community. It means a lot to us.
Clint, 41 months ago, you took a shot, gave me a great interview, great interview, by the way. And you came back here 41 months later to give us an update. This is kind of maybe a trend I should start, just dig back into the archives and see where you are now. Wow, brand new building, lots of great things, continuing to win awards. Any final comments for the industry?
I know it seems kind of dark right now. There's a lot of people that think, the industry's falling apart and it's hard to find employees and cars are going to be to the point where you can't work on them anymore. And I would say I don't believe that's the case at all. I think people saw that when fuel injection came out back in the 80s. And we've seen more work and more cars that need more work. I think the future is bright for the automotive repair industry, and keep your chin up. It's anybody that gets through these next couple of years is going to come out on top.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clint Dudley, for the update. You and your team should be so proud of the many awards because of your customer commitment and positive business culture. Congrats on your new facility. This was so much fun. We'll do more Where Are They Now episodes in the future. To see the show notes and the shop profile of Shade Tree Auto in Grimes, Iowa, go to the episode show notes page at remarkableresults.biz/E259. And thank you for joining us. Any questions or comments, email me at carm@remarkableresults.biz or head over to the contact page on the website. What great insights our guests give each week. My wish is that you learn one new thing from each episode and implement it to help you achieve your own remarkable results. I'm grateful and thankful for your support. Until next time.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time,